Now, if there's one thing you need to know about me, I like houses.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think we all kind of enjoy houses. This is the perspective. We kind of have this podcast that we talk about everything and anything. My name's McCall.
I'm Ema.
I'm Producer Butters.
And over the weekend, we got to go look at the parade of homes that was happening in northern Utah.
That's what I like about like beginning of fall time.
I know.
It's actually really fun.
I love going and looking at the houses because I think it's fun to see different features that people have in their houses. I love to see the finishes that people do in their houses that kind of like change as
Yeah, I really don't care for that ugly gray color or something that they're using. I don't know. It's just been really weird.
Which
Several
color?
houses.
Like a taupey gray, like a grayish is
don't
what
know.
I would like
Was
to
it the
call
blue,
it.
Or is it a blue or is it a gray?
There's blue.
It's like a bluish
Like
gray,
dark-
but it's dark gray.
Because
yeah.
I'm like, I don't like this. I really don't like it, and it's been in several houses.
Yeah,
So it must be in.
It's been in for a
it
while.
is. So this like deeper, it's your
They use
jewel-
it as like an accent wall.
Yeah, it's your jewel tones is what you'd call it. Same thing with the greens. You do the deep green, you do the deep blue, and then you can go into like when it comes to the jewel tones, you know, you can go into like the lighter colors, kind of your like peachy mauve color. That one's really in right now. I love it. I love the dark green specifically with brass. I love it. I love it so much. My upstairs bedroom office, quote unquote, where I was filming my podcast for a little while, that I had that dark blue color. And I've changed it and now it's like a black gray color that's darker too. But I love it. I love those deeper tones though. I'm glad that they're in, to be honest.
I mean, I like some of the colors. I just didn't like the combination.
Yeah.
And
a lot
it's-
of them.
and it felt like the same color.
Yeah. A lot of them, it's got to be the right color too. Like it's easy to be off on the color.
Yeah.
Because it's like a little bit too blue. If you do it too blue, then it's like oh, yay, we're at the Yankees baseball stadium. Like, it feels more of that, like, you know what I mean?
Well, it was like, was it like beige almost? Like a beige and then that blue next to I don't know.
I like,
It was kind of jarring.
yeah, a little bit.
And then I think the baseboards were like white.
Yeah.
And it was, yeah.
It's interesting. It's definitely an interesting move. Like I said, I really enjoy it, but I really enjoy that dark green is my favorite right now. The dark green with the brass. So I redid a lot of stuff in my bedroom. By a lot of stuff, I mean I have brought in some more accent stuff for my mattress and my comforter. My comforters are all like, it's like a white and gray stripe. So it's not anything too like, wow, this is bold. This is bold. You can basically throw anything on top of it and it's good, you know? So I just kind of changed the color. So last year it was kind of like a pink-ish vibe, like a kind of in that mauve-y tone. So I had my pillow that was that color and then I had my throw blanket that was that color. And so I've changed it so my statement pillow, quote unquote, is like that dark green velvety style, and then same thing with the throw. It's more of that darker green, but it's kind of more of a like green gray almost, which is good because it picks up those gray tones and whatever. But anyway, beside the point a little bit, it's interesting to see the way that the colors have shifted. We're going more into those brown tones that were really popular in the mid 2000s and away from that like black gray color that people have been using for a long time. It's interesting the vibe that I've seen.
Well, white is still definitely in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the white cabinets are definitely
Yes.
still in.
Yes.
And the black railings.
yes.
Ugh. I didn't like the black.
I did. I love it so much.
I think it's because it's metal. I think if it was something else, I don't know.
Interesting.
There was a house that had like the wood,
Uh-huh.
and it had like a really big top, and I slammed my arm into it,
Oh.
and I was pissed.
I bet you were.
Oh, yeah.
That's the dude, that's the worst,
he
honestly.
was so mad.
I was waiting for
us.
the lady to say something, and she just like was. I think she was more annoyed with me.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
Like the banister.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was the very bottom one. I was
Ugh.
like, be careful with this one.
Oh,
It'll
gosh.
get you.
It'll get you. It jumps out. Jump scare.
I'd
scare.
rather have the round top. Like
Yeah.
like a circle.
Mm-hmm. I think,
Then
and,
It just makes
Square
more
flat top.
sense.
yeah, and it's interesting because I think it depends on the style of the house too. So was it outside? Was it inside?
Inside.
On the inside?
I think they were trying to go for a older,
like
vintage,
Victorian-ish
look.
era. Okay.
Now, okay, so the metal ones, I don't mind them. They felt cheap.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know why. It just felt cheap. It was like when you go to a big box store and you put the thing together,
Yeah.
like some furniture together.
Which,
That's
I mean,
what it felt. Every one of them.
I think it depends on which.
Maybe if they added like, you know how like they add like the little rope, like the metal rope in them.
I'm not sure
okay,
which.
yeah, like kind of like the railing, but then the thing in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if they kind of did some of that, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't feel so cheap.
I'm
I
trying
don't
to.
think I would like it as much if it had that though.
I'm trying
Why?
to think which railing you're talking about. Are we talking like down the stairs, like your stair?
Everywhere.
Rail?
Stairs.
So are
things
we
so you
are
don't
we
fall
talking?
downstairs?
Yeah. So like you grab like your railing to walk down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, that and the one on the top. So
Yeah.
You don't fall down in it. Yes.
Okay. Because that was my real question. Because I feel like, I mean, anything can really look cheap, feel cheap. I mean, wood can look cheap, feel cheap, depending on how you stain it, how you do it.
It's
But-
funny. There was a lady that I can't remember what house it was.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "So what did you think of the house?" And I was like, it's interesting."
Good.
That's the first time I've heard that today. Actually, all week.
That's awesome.
Well, it's because it was an interesting house. I appreciated that I know which house you're talking about, and I appreciate that the master had its own wing. But I think the placing was interesting.
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious which one you guys are thinking.
I would have
So
to.
this is the type of fence.
Railing.
type of
Oh,
railing.
okay.
Like
See, and
that
I
type.
love that. Those ones are my favorite because
See-
they're that like quote unquote elevated, more of the modern
Yeah, it's
style.
like modern.
So you've
Yeah.
got the thick posts on the outside, the thick post on the top, and then the thinner
It's
railing
what do they
and
call it?
like
Cable.
vertical. Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
they call this?
Yeah. It's like
cable,
a cable.
Cable railing.
Yeah.
See, that I don't know why it doesn't feel cheap to me, but
Yeah.
like just the ones that I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe just metal in general just feels cheap to me.
That's interesting,
Maybe.
especially since it's like so freaking expensive.
Yeah.
I know.
That's what's interesting. Yeah. I'd be curious which house.
But that was always black too.
Dude,
so
I
maybe
love it.
that's it too. Maybe it's the
Maybe it was 'cause
color.
it was-
I have
Yeah.
no
Maybe it was 'cause it was
idea.
black. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think most of them were like all the railings that were like that were black,
Mhm.
and that's why I liked it because it just looked modern.
And clean.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
makes it feel
Wait.
industrial. That's what it is.
That's
Okay.
fair.
I can understand that. That makes sense.
It doesn't feel like a home. It
Yeah,
feels industrial.
It feels builder grade. It
Yes.
doesn't feel
Yes.
it doesn't feel elevated. There's a couple of the houses that we looked at. Number 1 was my favorite, number 13 was my favorite. 12. Yeah, number 12 was my favorite. And you guys didn't get to go see 12. It was the one in Fish Haven. But number 1 felt very homey to me. I think some of the things that they did to bring in, it was the one that was in Providence, up on the bench.
Oh,
big
the
one.
party house.
The party house.
No, the party house was like 4 or 5.
I don't know which one
No,
you're
we
talking
didn't go
about.
to 4, so it was 6
So,
or 5. Yeah.
so the
Mhm.
one that you stand on the balcony and it's just open, and you push the windows like
Yeah, the party house.
okay.
That was the party house. Yeah.
Okay. So number 1, I really liked that one. I felt like it was more of a homey vibe anyway. Just I think based on the way that, I mean, tones of the paint and everything.
Like the one that had a basketball court in it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I really liked their railing. I don't know if you noticed on the railing that went down the stairs, your guardrail had the light underneath it so that it would illuminate as you were going up and down the stairs, which I really thought that was cool. But little touches like that, I
Yeah.
find.
That might have been the one. I don't remember. I just remember coming out and she's like, "What do you think of this house?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's okay." I don't really care for big houses.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I think they're cool to look at for
Mhm.
sure.
Mhm.
If I were to have a house,
See,
I do have a house.
See, there's your black railing.
Yeah, modern.
Yeah.
That's your modern quote unquote. I feel like when they have the little spindles on them, like your spindle that goes down, but when they have the little like cage in the spindle, like that one did, that's got like the little
I don't like it as
ball
much.
thing. Yeah, I feel like those ones feel kind of cheap.
Yeah.
but I think it's just because it's like a everybody has it type of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
So-
the sleek.
Yeah.
'Cause
If you're
it's-
going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it sleek.
Totally agree. And I would prefer the metal, like if you do the wood on top, I feel like I would prefer the metal versus the wood because I feel like the wood makes it feel old.
Mm-hmm.
It could, yeah.
And it depends on how it's done too. Like
Yes.
the one in Fish Haven is like a cottage, and so it's like a very French classic cottage feel, and so a lot of their stuff was the wood, but it has to be the wood because it would feel out of place if they did the metal.
Cottage, yeah.
And so it's interesting. Again, it just I think depends on
know.
the style of
See,
things.
I can't think of all of the other houses that I've been in, like previous years,
Right.
on what they use for the railings. I just don't remember them sticking out this much.
I feel like a lot
I
of
don't
them.
think they did.
I feel like a lot of them did though, because it's been more modern.
Oh.
It's been more of a recent, like probably 2018 was when stuff really kind of pivoted to more of that modern vibe with things. It's
know.
interesting.
Maybe it's the house color choice
Yes.
too. On top of that,
I would
Probably, yeah.
I would agree, because if you do like a stark white with it, it's like sterile, is like producer Butters
Very.
says. It feels just industrial, like it
Mhm.
doesn't feel homey. And so I feel like if you do kind of like a creamish color instead, it kind of brings in more of that like hominess, I guess, or something. Well, oh, go ahead.
so there's a house that was called, I think it was called the Two Gables.
Uh-huh.
So there was a window that was in the very center when you go up to the stairs.
Right.
Up through the stairs. The cool part is if you stood up where the top of the stairs
Mhm.
and looked out the window, you could see just the temple. Like it
Yeah.
was in the center. I was like, well, I guess you don't need a picture of the temple. You
Interesting. Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
that's
like
kind
a
of cool.
perfectly framed
Got that. Yeah.
picture
It was
of
right in
the
the
temple,
center.
but
Okay.
it
The
was the
temple's
window.
right in the center.
Interesting. That's super cool.
Yeah.
So some of the houses, I don't know, the one house that I really liked, it was like the style of it is the thing that I really liked. I mean, the placement itself was really cool, but the house itself was like 1.6 million, I think, and it was up in North Logan / Hyde Park area, and it was, I mean, clear up the mountain. Very, very pretty house. Todd is the guy's name that's the builder. And he's so cool. Every time I run into him, he's always like, hey, you, how are you? Like, he's a really nice guy. But I talked with him a little bit because there's a lot of like random finishes that I really enjoyed about it. Like, they had their theater room, which I feel like any majority of the houses that are elevated in the parade of homes they always have like a theater room or something. And some of the theater rooms that I've been into, it's like they're not insulated well enough. Soundproof wise.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that I appreciate more being in the industry that we're in, is the soundproofing of things. And so that house had the soundproofing was really, really well done in it. You walked in and it was loud and it was like, oh my gosh, you never would have heard it, you know? But some of the things that I really liked about that house, the stair tread was one of the weird things that I noticed. Like, they were wider stairs, but then the tread, like going down itself, wasn't super steep, but it wasn't too like shallow, I guess. But it was like perfectly placed. I was like, wow, this is actually very nice. But it's random things like that I noticed. But I talked with him a little bit about it earlier, and they had the one big accent wall that went down the stairs that was like a kind of like a herringbone pattern that they had done, and it was pretty. It's like an oak, like a warmer oak color, and it was really pretty. And I said something to him about it, and he's like, well, you'll notice within the house itself, we don't have a lot of accent walls. We have this one, and then like the fireplace was just like a steel, like a black steel. And he said the point and the reason that they did it that way is because the views were supposed to have the attention. The view of the valley, the view of the mountains, all of that was supposed to have the attention. So they didn't want to do anything that detracted from the view, which I thought was so cool. Like, I don't know, just stuff like that. I'm like, man, this is fascinating to me.
Yep.
So I don't know. Did you guys find anything that you wanted to add into your house from it? Maybe just like a simple, not like I want to add this rock wall.
Yeah, this rock wall.
Yeah, the darker ones with the statement blue around it.
See if we can get this in there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
if it'll show.
It's that color. It's
yeah.
that color that's like
It's a
in
gray-
everything, and I
gray
don't like
blue.
it.
It's, again, it's not like, I didn't like that color. It's so hyper specific. Like, it's the same, like the deep blue I love, but you have to do it right.
You have to do the right color.
Otherwise it feels cold.
I think this was the house that was like we went down in the basement.
They weren't finished.
and it was like just this one room, and I went down and I was like, well, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
I think we all did. Not only that, it was like a dark color. So you went down there and it was like automatic. You knew you were in a basement because it was just
Right.
dark.
Right.
I think that was it. That's that
yeah.
picture.
You showed that and I knew exactly which house it was.
Yeah, 'cause
exactly which
like,
one.
Even the people that went down with us, we were all like, that's it.
Oh, all right. And there's like doors, signs all over that's like unfinished basement. Don't go in
Don't go
here.
Do not
Oh.
open.
All right. Fun. Anyway,
okay.
was there anything that you would like to add, to the house based on some of the things that you found?
I know that the gas stove is definitely
Oh,
something
yeah.
that I like.
I
think
love.
I like how it looks aesthetically,
Mm-hmm.
and I just like to have that option.
Yeah.
If my
I think-
power ever goes out,
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about my stove.
Correct.
That is probably the way I'm gonna go.
I
So I think
honestly,
that's the one thing.
that's a good
'Cause
addition.
it's that one thing.
I have a gas stove, and it's after I was living in my trailer for a couple of years and we had the gas stove. Dustin was like, do you want to go back to electric? I was like, absolutely not. No, it's amazing because of how much more evenly everything
Yeah.
cooks. So cool.
We had a gas stove growing up, so that's
Oh.
why.
So did we. And
So
my,
the electric is like just weird to me.
Yeah.
my mom had always wanted an electric, but now that she didn't want the like
Spirally
spirally one.
ones.
She
The
wanted
flat.
the flat one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But now that she's had it, she's like, I want my gas stove. I
Mhm.
want it back.
Yes. That's
and
how.
I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't like because
yeah.
I have the spirally one.
Mhm.
Ugh, I don't like those.
They just
I
don't.
don't either.
They just don't cook even.
No.
They're old.
They are
They're just
old.
very old.
Dated.
See, mine's flat. I got a flat top.
Yeah.
But it has like the little circles where it heats up.
Heats up.
Mhm.
But it's weird because the glass doesn't get hot like in the center, so
Uh-huh.
like you can set something in the center and it doesn't like
Okay.
burn
So
it.
so have you guys seen these induction
Yes,
Yes.
stove tops that
Mhm.
they've done?
they're cool.
Very cool.
It's just that you got to buy special stuff for
Yeah,
them.
special pan, special. I don't know that it has to be a special pan.
I don't think it has to be a special
Just a
pan, but
special, like,
special insulation thing.
top-
Yeah.
Burr things. I don't know. You basically like throw it on, throw this topper thing on wherever, and you turn it on, and then you can put your water on, and it like boils immediately.
Mhm.
Basically, it takes maybe like a minute, but it's like boiling super super quick, and you can take the little pad off and immediately touch the stove top where it's at, which
Yeah.
is usually just like an island on the counter somewhere.
I'm on a nine.
And you can touch it and it's fine. Like it's amazing. Some of those things are super cool. I don't know that I would want one in my house because I still like the gas stove and the way that it cooks, but still fascinating
Yeah.
option.
No, I love the gas stove. I don't think I would. Like, I don't have a house. I have an apartment.
Right.
So when I have my house,
Uh-huh.
yeah, definitely gas.
Yeah. One of my favorite things also is the pot fillers.
Pot filler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That they have in all of the kitchens.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I love that. I think that's fun. Just a fun little addition option, you know. One of the houses, I think it was that same house number 1 that was the party house, quote unquote. They had the doggy door. Did you
Mhm.
see that? They had the doggy gate that was
No.
it was in the wall. And so they had the little doggy gate in the wall so you could slide it out, kind of like a pocket door type of a situation. And you could slide it out, and it was so cool. And
Totally
then
missed
in
that.
that little like area where your mud room is, you know, you've got all of your cabinets and your shelves and your washer and dryer and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That same area, they had a little hole. They have dogs. They have little dogs. So they had this little cubby hole basically with food and water. So if they had, I don't know, guests over or something, they could just close them in there. And so it was so cool. Like those kinds of little additions like that, I think are neat.
Hey, I missed a feature when I was here.
Can I come back? Thank
I want to
you.
come back and check it out again.
I took some pictures, so I'll show you.
Okay.
Okay.
Because it was really cool. But just little things like that, I think would be cool.
Just a side note, the
Yeah.
reason we call it the party house is because there were speakers everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was just set up
There
for
was
like
two
a party
balconies. You
Mhm.
could open the whole thing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was set up for a party.
It was cool. It was really cool. I have all of our speakers wired, but we don't have them put in. And so we have speakers set up for everywhere throughout my house. I mean, upstairs, downstairs, not upstairs, but like main level. The upstairs still needs to be remodeled. It has lath and plaster everywhere, so that's fun. But it's neat.
I'm just like, how realistically, like, are you ever gonna just like play music out of them, like out of every room?
Oh, dude, I will play music all the time. Like any room that I'm in, I usually have my phone going, and so it doesn't matter if I'm like cooking in the kitchen or anything. I always have music or something on. Same thing in my bedroom. If I'm cleaning the bedroom, if I'm doing something in the bedroom, I always have music on. In the bathroom, same thing. Like when I'm taking a shower, I love to have music on with me, just anywhere within my house. And then, I mean, basement, we've got our workout room and equipment down there. And so it's something that we would use. But you section it off so that you have different sections. So like, you don't have to be listening to the exact same thing in every room. You can. It's kind of like your Alexas or something like that where you can stream to all of them. But in our living room, it's kind of like our great room, quote unquote. And so those speakers we can hook into the sound system itself. So then we have that. And then same thing in our bedroom. We've got the speaker up there so that we can hook it into the sound system of the movie, the TV show that we're watching. So it's kind of neat. Realistically, I use it all the time. We've got them set up on our back patio too for when we end up.
I mean, that part makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
The back patio.
Yeah.
I was like, well, let's just play this through the whole house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have like I don't have obviously speakers in my walls, but I do have like a little network of little speakers, and I have those. And when I'm cleaning my apartment, I play the same
I
song.
mean, yeah,
to
but
all
you're
of
not
them.
cleaning like every day.
That's
right?
true. I'm never home either, so
I
that's
try and
fair.
I mean, I try and clean mine every day, but it doesn't go well. So, but I am home every single day. And, you know, a lot of the times when it comes to, like I said, really anything that I'm doing, if I'm doing my dishes, I'm making dinner, anything like that, I always have my Alexa going.
I mean, I have music going, but not like, I'd rather have I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. And you can control it from your phone, which is
Yeah.
nice too. It's not, you just Bluetooth to it. So it's easy enough
Nice.
to
Yeah.
use. That's been the one thing I'm really excited for, to get it all done, because it's all wired. We just have to buy the speakers for it, and the speakers are expensive.
Speakers are expensive.
Yeah. And the
That's
system.
expensive.
That's expensive. So any final thoughts? I mean, houses, I feel like I kind of ran the conversation. Sorry.
It's fine.
No.
Yeah, I mean, everything's always changing
Mm-hmm.
and things are in and out.
Mm-hmm. So do what makes you happy.
Yeah, just do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
It's your home.
All right, ripping
Yes.
it all out.
It's all getting remodeled.
Starting over.
All of it's done. Okay. Well, then
Done.
this has been The Perspective.
Okay, bye.
Bye.